I know.
Not right now.
I'm just not emotionally prepared enough yet.
Hello and welcome to What's On, where we discuss films and we review films and we talk about films. I'm Billy Ray.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Tom.
And today we're talking about Cargo, which we've just seen on Netflix. Well, two of us have.
Yes, whilst I was at work.
You guys did this to me. Now we just need to leave Billy out.
Yes, that's true. That's fine.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
Anyway, Cargo. So I haven't seen this, and I don't really have an idea. I know that Martin Freeman, my goodness, is Martin Freeman, isn't it?
It is Martin Freeman, yeah.
He's in it. So tell me more. What is Cargo about?
Essentially, it's a zombie film.
Yeah.
Which, unusually, there is not a lot of zombies in the actual film. There's a few, only a couple encounters or so. But should we give you just a brief synopsis?
Yeah.
Just to catch you up. It starts off with a family. There's Martin Freeman with his wife and their little girl. And they're living on top of a boat.
Yeah, it's like a boathouse.
Yeah.
It's imagine a barge, but it was an actual house.
Yeah, no, I can. Yeah.
So what happens at the beginning is they kind of park their boathouse somewhere, and then the dad
on the river.
river. The dad explores an abandoned boat which is semi-sunk into the water.
Yeah.
So he goes into this boat and retrieves a few bits of food and stuff. He retrieves a bottle of wine that he was going to give his wife. There's obviously something behind the door in this boat that the camera is slowly zooming into with scary music, and you hear something behind it.
And then
So
it cuts to shots of him that don't have the door. Back to the door, but the door's open a little bit.
Oh crap!
yeah, and
That would frighten the shit out of me.
he's heard something move around, so he's thinking, I'm going to get out of here. This is not safe. So he leaves with the food and stuff that he's acquired and goes back to their little boathouse. He tells his wife that it was safe for some reason.
Yeah. She's like, was everything okay over there? And he was like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Everything was fine.
This is not a time to be
Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to get to the stupid decisions.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's rummaging through the food that he's acquired, and she also finds a bottle with a note on it, which was saying happy anniversary. So he's going to give this to her pretty soonish, I imagine. So she gets this great idea where she's like, let's go back into the boat, but just me.
Yeah, he goes,
and see what I can get him.
She makes him go to sleep because he's really tired. So she's like, why don't you go rest your eyes? And that's when she finds the wine bottle, and that's when she decides that she's going to go to the boat.
Because he said it was fine.
Yeah, and see what was there.
For some reason. So she acquires a razor and something else. I don't remember what it was, but then she hears this noise coming from this door underneath the boat. And so she's thinking, right, well, I better get the fuck out of here. Starts to leave. And then as she's pulling herself up out of it, she gets dragged back under and it cuts away.
Yeah. It cuts back to him asleep and the sun's setting. And it wasn't setting before.
And the baby's crying because she's been alone for a while.
Oh god.
Yeah. So
they did a fucking Finding Nemo.
Yeah, they essentially. Trust me, it gets so much worse. He finds her and sees that she's got a wound. He's like, "Oh, what have you done? What have you done? How have you managed this?" And then she has put this little rubber watch around her wrist that has a timer on it. And it starts at 48 hours, and that's how long until you turn.
They established that pretty well.
Yeah,
that was a very good way to do it.
Yeah, so she has a timer on her wrist. She's got 48 hours to live, but she's still bleeding, and if she bleeds out, she'll die and she'll turn. He decides they need to get to a hospital. Crazy shit. Honestly. So he gets them off the boat, and they find a car. They put the baby in it. They find a car seat. It's all nothing's really going on, and she's in the car with the baby, and he's filling the car up with petrol and sees a zombie behind him.
Oh, this bit was spooky.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to scream, and the baby doesn't make any noise. By the way, most docile baby on the goddamn planet.
100%.
Yeah, baby is just docile throughout most of the film.
It's a bad actor.
Yeah, terrible actor. And she turns the hazard lights on to get his attention, and he's looking around, and then spots it, and yeah. And that's like, for me, I think that was sort of the scariest part.
It was, yeah. He got in the car very quickly.
Yeah, he gets.
And then suddenly it cuts to a shot where this zombie is just banging on one of the windows in front of the mum and the baby, which was very intense and spooky.
Ooh.
And they drive off.
He swerves out of the way of this zombie, crashes a car, like, comes to... Baby's absolutely fine, not making any noise. And she's been, like, penetrated by a tree. Like through her stomach in the front seat of the car.
There's a huge branch going right through her.
Awesome, that's cool. Take out the...
Yeah.
See, this is where my hard side would come in, because I'm proper, like, just smash her face. As soon as you get bitten, smash your face in.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
He then goes into shock.
No,
And he has
not
a
the
head
time.
injury.
And he's had a head injury from the crash. And falls asleep. Or, like, passes out.
Yeah.
When he wakes up...
No! Oh my god, she's a zombie and she's stuck to the tree or she's attacking the baby or something.
She's, like... He wakes up and she's looking away from him. And, like, she's written on the car door. I think this is in the trailer. Like, she's written on the car door and it just says save her. You know, he starts freaking out, realising that she's died. And then she wakes up and the baby is behind. He goes with his right arm.
So she bites him.
So she bites him.
You the left.
Yep. He goes to get the baby out and she bites him. Instead of just stepping out of the car and doing it that way, which would have been the most safe thing to do, because she's not going to be able to turn herself around since she's strapped down and impaled to grab the baby. So the smart thing to do would be to step out of the car.
Yeah.
And get the baby out that way. What did you actually think of the zombies themselves? They're very
really weird.
different.
They're very different zombies, yeah. They have, you know, the obviously pussy-faced look, which is really gross.
Yeah, so these zombies are quite gross. They secrete a sort of gooey residue from their eyes, nose and mouth as well. So when someone is fully turned, their whole face looks like it's covered in maple syrup.
It looks
or
like
treacle.
it kind of looks like honey is like really dry honey is on their face. Like imagine if it had like poured out of their eyes and then dried down their face, sort of thing. Yeah.
She looks like you're right. She looks like a beehive has got on her or something, or
Yeah, they just
mucusy.
It's like their body is secreting all of the waste left within it too early.
Yeah.
For the listeners that can't see what we can see, Bill is showing Ellie the picture of the wife in the car after she's woken back up and she's all covered.
Night.
Yeah, she does
It's
not
amazing
look
that
good.
they can bite.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's her fucking mouth? It looks like she's wearing a mask.
When her eyes were closed, it looked like she didn't have eyes to me initially. When they opened, it was like, oh, okay, her eyes aren't like welded shut. Like I fully expected them to be welded shut from the way it looked, but yeah.
And what these particular zombies also have to do is hibernate, kind of like a bear. So what they do is they bury their heads into the ground. So throughout the film, he walks around and you do see a lot of people with their heads directly underneath a lot of dirt.
Buried into the dirt.
And that's how they hibernate. And he comes across more of them in this tunnel, just sort of leaned against a wall. And yeah, they hibernate. It's really strange. I've never seen that in a zombie film before. So he's bitten, he puts the baby down, then he kills her. And essentially the rest of the film is him trying to find other people to look after his baby.
Okay, that's alright.
Comes into some colourful people.
I'm so angry though because I don't understand. I really, if we ever do another zombie film as well, like you'll soon quickly learn. Why is it that people have this complex of, oh, my sister has been bitten and I'm just going to sit here and watch her turn into a zombie? Fuck that! My sister deserves better than that.
Yeah,
like,
You guys stop it from happening.
Stop
Yeah,
it!
Dead Next Strikes.
And why also, okay, you're right. Move out the car, sort the baby, but kill her. She's not her.
I mean, he does kill her. Oh, we forgot about the Aboriginal girl.
Well, we'll get in there.
Yeah, well, they like flash in just random little scenes of this Aboriginal girl and...
So there's a whole side family as well of characters. These Native American people.
They're Aborigines because it's not in America, it's in Australia.
Aborigines. So there's that group of characters as well. All those characters are actually looking for the girl character because she gets taken away by the film's main villain, which is this racist guy who comes across different people and he's preparing to use them to get money in the future when things clear out. So I think he's...
Honestly, it gets so stressful. Like when you first come across this guy. So he comes across a woman beforehand where he thinks the hospital is. Turns out the hospital is like...
Zombie Central.
It's essentially the Outback. So it's not actually a hospital. It's a local school with a little medical centre, and he meets the teacher there, who, like, obviously he's put one of those timer things on now because he's already been bitten, and, like, they discuss it, and she, like, cleans his wound and, like, covers it up so other people won't see it, so that he could hide it better, because the local Aborigines are going around and cleansing the area, killing all the zombies they can find, which is obviously a fantastic thing to do.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know, doing a great job for the community and
He's
whatnot.
on a bit of a mission right now.
But yeah, and the teacher is also, she was the teacher for most of the Aboriginals, and specifically the young girl who was with her dad. He finds this crazy dude who, oh my days, when you find him and he's like buried under a bunch of gas canisters, and he kills a zombie to save Martin Freeman's character and the baby, and then Martin Freeman tows the gas canisters off, and then they get out of there with like some zombies in the distance coming towards them, you know. No real immediate danger with the zombies. They don't really present them as a threat throughout it.
Just the cause of this demise.
Yeah. It's the reason why the world is the way the world is, but the way the world is the terrifying thing. The way that people have changed and the situation that everybody's sort of in. That's what they really focus on.
Yeah. You think this villain guy is going to be a nice guy because they go back to his place and he's got this girlfriend that he's with and stuff, but it all just turns out horribly wrong, and he's not a nice guy at all.
How?
And he's got some Aborigine people in cages surrounded by like meat and stuff because they like used his well, and everything in the well is his, and it also turns out that he stole his girlfriend from another person because he barricaded up a shop and left them all in there to die and ran away with the girlfriend. But I've got to give the film props for making such an unbelievably arsehole of a villain. I hate him. But he seemed to me like a real person.
He did seem like a real person, yeah. He was like collecting propane gas and like going around and like looking after the gas canisters and stuff like that and fencing them off and collecting all bullets and bullet fragments because he believes that the world is going to fix itself, it's going to get better, and when it does get better he wants to have everything so that he can start selling it off to people.
Which is why he's got Aborigine people, he's got slaves ready to sell off in the new world.
Yeah,
he was awful.
and one of those slaves is the girl from earlier in the film. He's captured her and put her in a cage. Martin Freeman's character discusses with his wife, the crazy dude's wife.
Yeah, the girlfriend that he stole.
Yeah. She's obviously found out that he's been bitten. They're discussing leaving, and he comes across them having that conversation, knocks Martin Freeman out with the butt of his gun, and then he wakes up in this cage with this girl.
Yeah, he for some reason thinks that Martin Freeman is trying to steal his girlfriend away from him.
Yeah, the dude's crazy.
So he knocks him out and puts him in the cage with the Aborigine girl.
Yeah, and then the next mistake of the film is coming up because he escapes, and it's a really clever way that he escapes, and both him and the girl get out, and then they go back to get his baby because he's been knocked out and the dude's taken his baby away from him and just left him in this cage. They get the baby and the wife, or the quote-unquote wife, start escaping, and there's a scene where he's holding a rifle and picking up the guy's keys whilst the guy is sleeping on a bed in front of him.
Shoot the guy!
I know, right?
Just shoot the guy!
Oh, but it gets so much worse, because then they leave with his rifle and his keys, and he wakes up, finds that, she's not in the bed in front of him where she sleeps as well. So he goes off out there with another gun, which he had in the room. So Martin Freeman didn't take both the guns.
Oh my god.
He goes to shoot Martin Freeman's character, and his girlfriend, quote-unquote girlfriend, steps in front.
Okay.
So he accidentally shoots her. And then he gets all sad about it and comes down the ladder while Martin Freeman and the daughter are getting away. And it's like, why didn't you just take both of his guns? What were you thinking?
This film makes me very, very angry.
It's another zombie film where people do stupid things to move the plot along.
Yeah, like, I think difference between zombie films and the later seasons of Walking Dead, people don't need to make mistakes with the zombies in the later seasons of Walking Dead to move it along. But for this to keep the pacing that it needs for it to be not a lengthy film, I guess you need to do things like that. But, there's a lot of stupid mistakes that people make in these films, and this is another splashing of that throughout this film. which I don't like it as a plot point. It makes you think that the characters are idiots. You
It
know?
makes you think, how did you get this far?
Yeah, how are you like 3 months into this apocalypse if you decide, oh, instead of getting out of the car, I'm going to just reach around to get my baby out? Fucking
If
idiot.
these are the people that survived, the people that are already dead were just either had really bad luck or were really stupid. It's worrying that these are the smart people that are left.
Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of emotional moments. I think after they escape, they go back to the river because he saw a family on the river and he was going to try and give them his baby. But when they get there, there's nobody at their campsite. And he wanders off into the woods a bit and finds the family. And the dad is digging a big grave.
Oh, God.
The dad's been bit and he's got a handgun. And he's decided that he's going to shoot his 2 children and his wife and then kill himself.
Because they can't survive without him.
Yeah. He says to Martin Freeman that the gun will still have 2 bullets left in it afterwards.
Yes!
So he says, do yourself a favour and your daughter, essentially saying to kill the daughter and then kill himself.
Yes, I would.
Martin Freeman ends up taking the gun, but obviously emotional scene.
Well,
But
first he walks off and the guy does kill his family, and then he runs up to Martin Freeman's character just to make a point, I suppose, just so he knows, and then he kills himself.
In the background and then kills himself.
So Martin Freeman takes the gun for future plot points. So that was quite an emotional scene.
Would you?
Would I? I would take the gun. I wouldn't necessarily use it. I would use it as a last resort. If I was like about to die, it was just me and the baby, nobody else is going to be able to take the baby, that's when I would do it.
I would do it because what world can you even leave this baby? What is she going to grow up for? To be a human trade or a zombie fodder? What life is that?
No, I understand, but if you give up all hope of survival,
Gonna go extinct.
the race is going to go extinct. I wouldn't give that up. And it's obvious that they had the baby, or she was pregnant with the baby before this all went down. So it's not like they had the baby during the. It's not like.
Oh no, I assumed
It's not
that.
like what's it called? The other film that we talked about,
A Quiet Place.
Quiet Place, where they get pregnant after the shit's gone down.
People-
Fucking dumb idea.
It's
you
dumb,
know?
but people are gonna have sex. It's
People are
gonna
gonna have
happen.
sex. It's gonna happen. And obviously, because he's turning, he's getting these impulses as well to like dig a hole and stick his head in the hole and to eat meat and rotting meat. And they make a really good plot point where the teacher says to him after he has his first bout of seizures and vomiting, she like looks after him, puts him in a bed and that. You don't see that because everything is done from Martin Freeman's perspective mainly. She says to him not to give up hope. He's like, hey, he comes over to her all depressed and she's like looking after the baby and she says to him not to give up hope. And every time he has his spouts of degradation because of this disease, like wanting to dig his hole and put his head in it, or like walking past a carcass and just feeling the need to go over and like eat from it, he's like in the middle of having these internal crises and he looks at his baby and then all of a sudden he calms down. His focus shifts. It's a nice like plot point for his struggle and him having something that he is still fighting for, and that being the reason that this isn't taking over him as fast as it would, and that he can still fight it.
I feel like, yeah, we don't know a lot about the zombies, but they
No.
give us some really nice little plot points that make you think that they've developed the notion of this well enough to do it.
The writers have a very deep understanding of how the zombies work, and
I think a lot of it you have to figure out for yourself as
Yeah.
well, because they don't really talk about this stuff that secretes from you
yeah.
and is all sticky. It's just, you notice it.
It's just what those zombies do.
And if you touch it, you don't turn, because there's several characters touch it during the film and they don't turn.
Also, they established burying the heads under the sand and under the dirt very well, because they do that throughout the whole film, and it was something that actually really confused me right until the end when they walk through this train tunnel and they see all these zombies just leaning their heads against the wall, which was really creepy, and I was scared that one of them was going to jump at them any time. And he tells them that
The Aboriginal girl
yeah.
says to him that they're hibernating.
So that's when you establish in your head that that's why they're burying their
That
heads
that's
as
why
well.
they're burying their heads in the sand and everything. You're seeing this throughout the film, Just like he comes across a random one with its head buried in the sand, and it's still alive.
Yeah, it was really strange.
They
I had
don't
no idea what was
establish it
going
until
on.
right near the very end of the film.
But I like that they did that because then it just all made sense.
Well, they just don't go out at night. It's pretty. This. Not,
They
I could
are-
deal with
they
these
are
zombies.
They are out during the day. They are out and active during the day.
Yeah, I think they're out during the night as well.
Yeah.
But they need hibernation periods to recover and go out for days and days because.
Yeah.
Do they hibernate as group? Do they prefer to hibernate as group as
In the
well,
t-
or were
in
they
the-
just
in the tunnel? There was a big, long, like organised line of them against the wall of the tunnel. Yeah, but most of the other ones you just see like the odd one with its head in the ground, like buried in the sand.
So very cool zombies, very original.
I think it might be a metaphor.
for what?
Well, you know, I don't imagine that they would have it as a plot point with people burying their heads in the sand and it not being a metaphor for something. I'm yet to figure out what the metaphor is.
Literally
Well,
burying
these-
your head in the sand,
but
but
it's-
about what?
Well, these
Yeah.
people are burying their heads in the sand while there's human trafficking and things going on in the film to
I
Aboriginal
suppose.
girls.
Ah, that's a good point.
So that this whole film could be a metaphor for trying to ignore what is going on in third world countries.
Australia is not a third world country.
Yes, it is.
No,
Most
I'm
of
not- I'm not-
Australia is. Most of
I
Australia
don't
is
mean
desert.
Australia specifically.
That doesn't make it a third world country.
I wasn't saying Australia's a third world country, but these girls are getting trafficked, and they're not white girls.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
And-
nobody really cares, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, the main villain is very evidently racist. He refers to the little girl as the black girl a couple of times in angry spouts as
He
well.
calls her some nasty words.
Yeah.
It's really uncomfortable watching white people say horrible things.
Yeah, they make me feel super shameful.
Yeah.
I liked the zombies. They were really original. We
They
haven't
are
had,
really
we haven't had
original.
new zombies in a while.
No.
You know, you have the slow zombies, Walking Dead zombies, and then you have the fast zombies that run, like Left 4 Dead. So this was a nice new addition.
Oozy zombies.
Oozy zombies.
Yeah.
Uzis.
Oozys.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
So, I haven't seen. We're discussing that. I haven't seen many Netflix original movies, but I think this is really good. I think, for me, this film delivered on not what I was expecting. I think I was expecting more action and less of an absolute fucking emotional roller coaster.
Did you cry?
I almost cried.
Really?
Yeah, I almost cried
You?
twice.
Shall we talk about the very emotional ending of the film?
Yeah, let's go for
Yeah.
it.
So when they're in this tunnel where all the zombies are, he comes across the white trash man again, the hillbilly arsehole villain.
Like, they have a scuffle. Martin Freeman gets in the line of all the zombies that are against the wall in this tunnel. And, like, puts his head against the wall and pretends to be one of them. And the guy comes over and, like, starts smashing their heads in. And then they have a little scuffle. And Martin Freeman has the handgun and shoots twice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they roll over. There's a gunshot.
They
happens.
tussle around. There's a gunshot. They tussle around a bit more. And there's a second gunshot. And then the guy takes him down. Goes over, finds the little girl and the baby. Like, takes the little girl, throws her around. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He hurts the little girl pretty badly. He like
Oh my god!
He concusses her as well. Like, I'm pretty sure they were trying to show that she had a concussion.
yeah.
Very slow, very unaware of what's going on.
So after that, he takes the baby out of the car and walks off with the baby. And Martin Freeman has to get up and go after him, of course. And the villain is saying about how he's lost everything. Why should you have anything, etc. And he's threatening to kill the baby, which Martin Freeman talks him out of doing.
In a very English way.
Yeah,
He says mate a lot in this film.
this is English Martin Freeman. This isn't Black Panther Martin Freeman.
What the fuck is he doing in Australia? This is how bad Hollywood is. That's what. Do you remember? I'm just sorry to sidetrack. Do you remember in Bridesmaids where they had fucking Rebel Wilson and Matt Lucas, and they said that they were twins? One's from Britain, one's from Australia. There's a very different accent, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes the baby off of the villain after being like, "Look, you don't want to kill my baby, mate," or whatever.
He's panicking.
No,
He's
he says
panicking.
to the guy, "You're fucked too." And after he takes the baby off, you can see that the guy's like bleeding quite profusely from his stomach after he picks the baby up from the guy.
Okay,
So obviously one of the bullets connected.
good.
He spends most of the rest of the screen time just walking to the girls' tribe, who they've nearly reached now. And they get to the tribe, everyone's pretty happy to see the girl, of course, because she's been missing for a while.
Well, no, you're missing there's one big moment that happens before that.
Oh, okay.
Because he realises it's happening.
He's turning.
He realises he's turning. So at this point, he's picked up a stick and a bit of meat, and he wraps the meat around the end of the stick, and then like the camera fades out, and it then goes back to the crowd, the tribe, and you see them coming towards him, and he's got the baby in a bag on his back, and then the Aboriginal girl behind him with the stick in front of him with the meat hanging on it, walking, basically using him as a pack mule.
Yeah, so
oh my god, that's disturbingly beautiful as a father thing to do. Of the very last thing I can do is literally give you my lifeless body to travel on.
So yeah, he's a zombie and he's just trying to get this meat that's just dangling a meter in front of him the whole way.
Carrying his cargo.
And so obviously they take the little girl and the Aboriginal girl off his back. The chief guy is about to put his staff through Martin Freeman, the zombie, and the little girl stops him quickly. She's like, don't do this. And then she sprays a little bit of his wife's perfume into the air, which blows towards him, and he has this moment where he's kind of
relaxes,
peaceful.
Yeah.
And then they put him out.
Oh, that's lovely.
That was the ending.
If you're going to put him out, at least let him be calm and a little bit human.
Yeah. Because they use the perfume a couple of times, so the perfume is a plot point because it calms the baby down. And after the mum dies, he sprays it. When it's literally right after he sprays it, the baby stops crying, and he uses it as a pick me up as well. He says, "I can smell your mum," and then puts the baby back on and starts going again. So
yeah, that was a really emotional ending.
It's quite sad.
It's nice to see that the tribe have taken the baby though, and everyone's adoring her, so she's going to be all right.
Yeah, that is good.
Oh, and you wrote "thank you" on the baby's belly as well.
That was a bit weird to me. I was like, when did you find time to do that?
Oh no, but that's lovely.
It's a sad ending. The ending made me tear up, and when the wife died, I teared up.
Thinking about that ending is making me feel a bit funny, and I haven't even watched it.
It is really sad.
It's a parent's sacrifice for their children, what they will do, what lengths they would go through in a real survivalist thing. Because I'm not a parent, I have no idea. What I have to think about is getting me and Bill out.
Yeah, it's a really good underlined theme throughout the film is the risk that he's taken to save his child, just travelling all across the place just to try and find her some nice guardians for when he's gone. I think if you like a good zombie film, but you want it to be more serious than, I don't know, Resident Evil, for example, this is a good one to watch.
It sounds like a zombie film if you want to watch not these zombies taking over, it's how people have survived after the initial shock of everything happening.
Yeah, it's a survival story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. A lot more emotional than what I'm used to for a zombie film. I actually give a shit about the characters in this in a short space of time, whereas it took me like 3 Resident Evil films just to give a shit about Alice,
It took me 3 to start losing interest in Alice.
So, what was the scenery like and stuff? Because obviously Australia is very,
outback, so.
I wanted to talk about that, yeah, because it's very much aesthetically like other post-apocalypse films. Like, it's got the sort of desert, sandy, orange vibes that Mad Max has a lot of the time. So it's very futuristic apocalypse set pieces.
I was going to say, it's a very beautiful, natural place, so I was wondering what sort of shots they were going to go with.
There is a really, really cool shot that I hope isn't CG, the final shot of where the Aborigine tribe is, and it's like a mountain range inside another mountain range in a big valley in the middle of it.
Potentially not. It could potentially be real.
Yeah.
Well, I never know with Australia.
A very beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Like right at the end of the film. There's not a lot of scenery shots.
Yeah.
Because it's all very similar. It's all a lot of road and dust and...
The odd tree.
Yeah. So it's not the prettiest film to watch, but it's got that really cool aesthetic look that these kind of films normally have. It does it really well.
It's gritty.
Yeah. It delivers a better sense of danger.
There is some cool stuff to look at.
It's beautiful.
There are like 1 or 2 nice environments in it somewhere. I don't remember them very well.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that he did end up finding anyone to look after his baby.
Yeah.
If he could find anyone that wasn't an arsehole.
Sounds like a very intense film.
Yeah, very.
I wouldn't say I loved it by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's quite original for a zombie film, so I'd rate it quite highly just for that, to be honest.
Well, what do you rate it?
5?
5?
Yeah, I'd give it a 5.
Really? I think it's better than a 5.
What do you think?
We're not allowed to do half numbers, so I'm going to go for a 7.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. The zombies kind of irrelevant to the story, but obviously the zombies weren't a thing, then the whole storyline of him having X amount of time before he turns wouldn't be a thing, so I like what they've done with the atmosphere and the environment, and it's very different.
I mean, I definitely didn't want to give it a below average rating at all, just because of the originality and the way it strikes up certain emotions when you're watching it.
So you gave it a 5, which is literally average.
But I wouldn't give it higher than that because it was very slow paced,
Oh, okay.
which in its favour is very original and good in that way. But in general, there was also a lot of stupid decisions, which were so stupid, even for horror films, that it was unnecessary, and it kind of threw me back a bit.
Yeah.
If the decision making was a bit more sensible and coherent and made me think, yeah, I guess I would probably do the same, okay, then I'd probably give it a bit of a higher rating, but that's probably the main reason why. Also because I rate Ant-Man a 6, and I can't put it on the same pedestal as Ant-Man right now.
Fair play, no. I also think Ant-Man's a better film, so I gave Ant-Man an 8.
So I think our ratings have been pretty consistent and fair
Yeah.
in keeping. But I would recommend watching it to anyone
sure.
listening, because
sure.
it's original, it's kind of cool.
You won't have seen anything like it.
I don't think I'm going to watch it again, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I might watch it again one day, but only if I ever forget how emotional it is.
Yeah, you should watch it with Ellie.
I am not built for that film.
No, you will cry.
Yeah, I will cry hard, and then I'll call my dad and be like, I love you so much. Would you carry me? No, I would not.
Since we're talking about zombie films, what other great zombie films would you rank as great zombie films?
Shaun of the Dead.
Solid.
28 Days Later.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
the
solid.
best zombie film ever made, in my opinion.
I think my favourite might be Night of the Living Dead, which was the mama of the modern zombie film.
If we're talking about favourites, Evil Dead and the Evil Dead trilogy, because they are hilarious and frightening.
Ooh. Ellie loves the campy zombie films.
I love them. He has a chainsaw for a fucking hand, for Christ's sake.
What's the zombie film where there's like a big city and they've put it's like a big glass wall and all the zombies are outside this big glass wall?
I don't know.
Isn't that Quarantine or something? No, that's with aliens.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but that is another film. Stupid decision. They built a big glass wall to keep zombies out. One of the zombies learns how to pick stuff up and smashes through it.
Shit. But you didn't
Thus
think
chaos happens. So
I was going to say, thinking of good zombie films is really easy to do because there are
This-
so many bad ones.
there are so many bad ones. Like Dawn of the Dead,
I haven't actually seen it.
the remake, terrible.
Zombie film remakes are always bad, it seems. They remade Wreck, which is a Spanish horror film, a found footage zombie film.
Oh, that's
It's
terrifying.
terrifying, and the remake sucks.
I literally only watched 10 minutes of it because I was at your house, Billy, and you were like, let's watch a horror film. And I was like, okay, but I'm not very good with horror films, particularly when I'm walking home alone and it's very dark at night. And Billy was like, nah, you'll be fine. And we got 10 minutes in, and I was like, turn it the fuck off, turn it off, turn it off. He was like, we haven't even got to scary bits yet. I was like, I don't even need that, okay?
It was enough. I shamelessly really like the Resident Evil films.
Me
as
too.
well.
So does my mum. Shout out to you, mum.
Oh.
She once bought me like 5 of them on DVD one Christmas. So
Before anyone hates, they're fun. They're fun action films. They're not meant to be taken seriously.
No.
They're video game movie films.
they're video game movies. That don't
And they
stick
know
to,
it.
Yeah, they don't stick to the video game. It's just like additional extra shit for the video. And Mila Jovovich is hot. Like, come on.
I mean, it's like you can't have video game films recreating the game. It wouldn't be fun. So they just
No.
went all out action.
Yeah.
Jumping over, doing cartwheels over zombies and shooting them at the same time, and then doing a high five to Jill.
It's like the zombie version of Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
That's what Resident Evil is.
yeah. It's a very different beast to Night of the Living Dead and 28 Days Later and such, which are serious zombie films.
Or even World War Z,
Mm.
which very serious tone to it.
Yeah, I wasn't that big a fan of it, but it was good. But I just
You should read the book.
I'm sure the book is probably a lot better. I just wasn't a big fan of Brad Pitt in that, but that's because he's getting older and his acting's getting staler.
Was it the hair?
Yeah, I mean, I am a real lover of men with long hair. It's yeah, gorgeous locks there, babe. And it was all wispy and gross, and I was like, ugh, and your grey beard. And I feel terrible because I'm just judging him completely, but yeah.
So I'd put this pretty high up there in terms of originality in the zombie film genre.
Yeah,
I think
it's good.
Just when I thought they had exhausted every possible avenue they could go down, that they did something different. So good for you, Netflix.
Yeah, keep making films. That I can agree to that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. I am the artificial intelligence
Yeah,
witch.
I know what you are. I knew your sister. She was a homicidal bitch.
So thank you so much for listening. If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at whatsonpodcast@outlook.com, or you can tweet us at whatson_podcast.
Yes, we got it.
_podcast.
No,
Oh,
we didn't get
damn.
it.
No, not
I'm
yet.
very forgetful.
I'm sorry.
We do this once a week.
I know.
And, like,
Still
we still forget.
I'm sorry. I just can't be bothered to do it. But maybe one day,
Maybe I should try and take up the fight. I don't even have Twitter.
or whatever streaming service you're listening to this on. If it's got a comment button, maybe just do that.
SoundCloud, iTunes doesn't have comments on it, but you could leave a good review.
SoundCloud has comments.
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
I was saying iTunes doesn't.
Oh yeah, iTunes doesn't.
Well,
So you'll have to give us a review.
We are interested in what you have to say.
Like,
Yeah.
comment, subscribe, etc.
Yeah. All
Rate,
that jazz.
review, and we'll be back in a week. So thank you for listening. I've been Billy Ray.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Tom.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.